Have you seen the tumbler craze? Because it is trending and it is one of the most popular crafts of the year. I'm so excited to partner with Marabou to share with you 4 techniques for creating your own stainless steel tumblers, wine glasses, koozies, and water bottles. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to take you through a couple different techniques so that you can create your very own. We're going to get started today with the easiest of the 4 techniques. We're going to be using Marabou Easy Marble and then also a stainless steel tumbler. To get started, I use painter's tape on my tumbler because I'm going to apply a coat of white spray paint as my base. Make sure that you tape the top of the tumbler where your mouth would touch, and then I also tape the bottom so I'll have some contrast with my stainless steel. While the spray paint is still damp, remove the painter's tape and then let it completely dry. You don't have to worry about the coat being completely solid, or if there's a few drip marks, no big deal because you're actually not going to see all of it. Next, we're going to take some electrical tape and we're going to tape off the exact same areas that we did with the painter's tape. Did you notice I got taller? So I filled my bucket and I'm using a step stool so that I can easily reach inside my bucket. I've picked out 3 colors, so I'm going to be using Marabou Easy Marble in white, in gold, and also in black. I've got my gloves on because unless you want your hands marbled, you definitely want to wear those gloves. You also want to make sure that you shake the Easy Marble really well before you get started. I'm going to start with my white, so I'm going to pour a generous amount on the very top of my water. Next, I'm going to come back in with my black. And then last, I'm going to add my gold, which is going to be my really fun accent. You can always go back. I might want a little more black. So I'm going to add just a smidge more black before I marble it. Use a skewer, lightly marble the paint. Now, put your hand inside the mug, or you can hold the tip of it and dip directly down into the marbling. Make sure that you don't go too far down, and you can also swirl it in order to get the entire mug covered. Then use your hand to move that film away from the mug so that it doesn't double dip when you pick it up. Ta-da! How awesome is that? Once the Easy Marble was completely dry, I retaped the tumbler, and now I'm going to paint on a water-based sealer. This will help prevent any chemical reactions between the Easy Marble and the epoxy. I waited a few hours to make sure that my sealant was completely cured. So what I did was retaped the rim and the bottom portion with electrical tape. I put it on my tumbler spinner, and I'm going to go ahead and start it on a low speed. I went ahead and mixed up a cup of epoxy, and I didn't mention this at the beginning because I didn't think I wanted to add any glitter, but when making tumblers, your design kind of develops as you go. So I decided that I want to add in some gold glitter. So I'm going to put a very light coat of epoxy on first, then add some glitter. When you're working with epoxy, you want to start with a smaller amount, drizzle a little bit on, and then use your gloved finger to start evenly smoothing it across the surface. Remember, do a little bit at a time. It will eventually self-level, but it helps to smooth it out to get it started. You want to make sure that you don't put too much on and push it over this edge, even though I did add electrical tape inside my mug to protect it, but you don't want any epoxy inside your mug. You could leave it as is and let it cure, but I'm going to add just a little bit of chunky gold glitter to the top. All right, now it's time to wait. I'm going to let the tumbler spin for about 3 to 4 hours before I add another coat of epoxy. Remember that you want to remove the tape about an hour and a half in because you don't want your tape to cure to the cup with the epoxy. All right, let's wait. All right, so this guy has been spinning for about 4 hours, enough for my epoxy to get pretty hard. I'm gonna go ahead and add my last coat of epoxy, which is gonna seal in my glitter and make it nice and smooth. So just like I did before, I'm gonna start with a little tiny bit at a time, and then I'm gonna use my finger to lightly rub and spread it across the cup. I'm gonna let this guy spin for about 4 to 5 hours until it's completely cured, remembering to take the tape off about an hour and a half in so that your tape doesn't cure with your epoxy. All right, so let's wait. After 4 hours of spinning, we have the perfect customized tumbler. Isn't the marbling beautiful? The last step would be to take a sanding pad and sand any rough edges that you may have at the top and the bottom. Just lightly sand around, and then you are ready to put your top on and use your perfect marbled tumbler. I don't know about you, but I love this, and Marabou Creative USA's Easy Marble worked perfectly. All right, guys, stay tuned. We have a whole series of making customized tumblers, koozies, water bottles, and more with our friends at Marabou. Follow along at craftboxgirls.com and check out Marabou Creative USA's website to find out where to purchase the products.